Montana's newest concert venue, baseball, beer, and gourmet grilled cheese. This guy is involved in all of it and much more. Coming up on this episode of We're No Damn Experts, we're talking with Scott Reisner, and he even tells us why he thinks a hot dog a day keeps the doctor away.
Best damn podcast, the best damn town. You wanna get up, get ready to get down. With its big wide sky and the wild river Thames, if you wanna go, we can take you there to Great Falls, Montana.
Welcome to the greatest damn town in Montana, Great Falls. I'm Rebecca Ingham.
I'm Shannon Newth.
And we're
No Damn Experts.
Shannon, it is cold outside today. Mm-hmm. And we made our guest drive in 16 below zero weather without the wind chill.
He's a
That's
tough
what's
Montanan.
on the
It's up to 10
thermos-
below. It's a heat wave out there.
Ooh, so you don't even need a coat now. And this is a first timer on the podcast, which is really kind of crazy.
Surprised. Yeah.
We have in the studio the man, the myth, the legend, connected to the Great Falls Voyagers here in Great Falls.
Yes.
He is connected to N-Bar, which is Great Falls' first craft cocktail lounge. He is connected to Montana's newest concert venue, the Newberry. The illustrious Scott Reisner is in the studio with us for the first time.
Well,
Welcome.
that's a lot of stuff for a guy that just wants to eat hot dogs and drink beer, but I'll take it, I guess.
You figured out how to make a career out of that, so
It's-
kudos to you.
It's something.
Yeah.
Not only do you want to drink beer and eat hot dogs, every now and again you want some really craft whiskey, and you've got that going for
Got
you.
that covered.
And listen to some fun music, and you're like, oh, let's do that too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Why? When do you sleep? When do you have time for a social life outside of all of your endeavors?
So this is actually something a lot of people don't know. I'm usually in bed by 9:30.
Wow.
And then I get up at like 6 and get into work by like 6:30. So really that's the downtime. But, you know, you'll see me out at a concert, but I'm usually leaving before it's over.
I was like, that's
And
a pretty,
the staff does a great job with everything. But yeah, I sneak out of there. I'm an old man.
You're an early riser for a man who's involved in nightlife.
Well, I've been getting up at about 5 a.m. since I was a toddler, basically, and I just never stopped.
Oh, your
so
poor mother. Yeah.
you just get up and you go. What are you going to do? Some people are like, you want to go back to sleep, lay in bed? I'm like, what a waste of time.
Yeah.
You know, might as well just get on with the day.
No.
So true. So I'm not sure what Shannon lured you under
What pretense
guise,
I told you.
but let's start with.
I'm not sure he knows either because I
Yeah.
talked to Carrie. So
This works out really well. So let's start with the Voyagers ended their season a little bit ago, but
Yeah.
not too long ago, and then they're going to start up again here in.
May.
May?
We are already
Okay.
ready. It's 2023. Our
Yeah.
schedule is out. Season tickets are on sale. We're selling 10 packs online. We've had a bunch of people purchasing those as Christmas presents.
that's a good
So
idea.
we
Yeah.
are
Such a-
pretty excited.
Thank you for making them available for Christmas.
That's
yeah,
right.
that makes
There
a lot of
are
sense.
other athletic programs within this fine state that don't release their season tickets until February.
She's not bitter about this or anything. Yeah.
Like, how wouldn't it be nice if you could get them for Christmas gifts?
We got
It
some
would be.
brand new 406 Orbit sweatshirts that this came in. They're almost sold out already. So you got to go quick. gfvoyagers.com, just in case you're curious.
So you mentioned Orbit,
Oh, of course.
who is the mascot for the Voyagers. Tell us about the origin story of Orbit. Why is Orbit the Voyagers'
So
name? all of
Orbit is
that?
the Voyager's mascot because somewhere in the early 2000s, we don't know the exact date, he crash landed at Centene Stadium.
Oh.
And, you know, as a big government conspiracy, his spacecraft got buried underneath the outfield. And it took a couple years, but he came out and introduced himself to the public. And he really hates winter and loves baseball. That's why you only see him in the summer months.
Does he make an appearance, though, sometimes at the Christmas stroll?
Sometimes it really depends
Okay.
on the weather, though.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know his
Not-
his
I
home
didn't see him
his
at
home
this one.
planet is quite warm.
Okay.
So he doesn't really venture out unless we're at least 45 degrees.
And we've had that.
You
Yeah.
think, oh, there's been some baseball games below 45 degrees, and you know what? There's rarely an orbit there.
It's like, nope, not coming out for this.
Fair weather
Yeah.
fella.
Wow. So did Malmstrom, have you kept him from government research?
I can't
Yeah.
disclose that.
Yeah.
That's all
Figured.
private
Yeah.
information. Now, the Voyagers are a minor league baseball team. And prior to, 2020, I probably understood minor league baseball.
Nobody does anymore.
And so today things are a little different.
Yeah.
And continually changing. Our whole league got changed after the pandemic to an independent professional league, which basically means, long story short, Major League Baseball pays our league a little bit of money, saves a ton of money because now we pay, recruit, and manage our own players, coaches, that whole part of the baseball operation. When we were affiliated with the White Sox prior to that, all of our players and coaches were White Sox employees. So they were drafted, signed, and managed by the White Sox organization. And now we are independent, so we have to do that all in-house. Now, granted, we still have a great relationship with the White Sox, so now major league teams sign our players individually. So just in this past year, we've had 6 players signed with different major league teams.
Oh.
And most of them have been with the White Sox. So we're very thankful that the Chicago White Sox continue to be great supporters of the Voyagers and Great Falls, Montana. So that is certainly a relationship that we value very much.
So do you guys get like a percentage or like some type of agent fee when they find your players and then sign them?
We do, and full disclosure, it doesn't nearly cover the cost of paying the player, but it is quite exciting all the
You'll
same.
be able to get yourself a hot dog and a beer.
That's right. Yeah, it's a pretty good deal for the Major League Baseball teams. They unloaded a lot of expenses our way. But for Great Falls, what's really exciting is a couple changes on the baseball front. One, all of our players got a little bit older. So when we were affiliated, most of our players were 19 to 22 years old, and they almost never came back for a second season. So if you remember coming to games all the way from the 90s, 2000s, all the way up to 2019, a player would play for us 1 year. There might be 2 or 3 players at the most that would come back for a second year. And in the history of our White Sox affiliation, we had 1 player come back for a third year. So pretty rare. Now, the way it is that we handle all of our players, we largely have a huge group of players coming back for a second year and a small group for a third year. So we have a handful of players coming back for their third season with the Voyagers. We have about 18 players coming back for their second season, and then a handful of new players that will be joining. So when you come out to games, and most of our fans still only come out to about 1 to 2 games a year, make it 3, I can retire. But when you come out, you actually get to recognize some of the players coming back year after year, and all of our players are college graduates, so they all finished college already. So they're going to be 22 to 25.
Okay.
Which means the level of
Interesting.
play out there for anyone that is a diehard baseball fan that wants to enjoy the Voyagers has improved significantly.
Yeah.
Just the difference between watching a 20-year-old and a 24-year-old is huge. And obviously we're still getting top flight talent. We've actually placed more players in A baseball from our last year's roster than any point in time when we were affiliated in 1 year.
wow.
We are still getting tremendous talent and
Nice.
just some great athletes out there that get to really be a part of the Great Falls community in a way that we've never seen before with professional athletes here in town, and it's really been exciting.
I can't wait till there's just mansions everywhere.
From all the players here.
Baseball players.
Scott's mansion.
Yeah, come out to that third, fourth game, and we'll make it
We'll
happen.
make that happen. That is fun, though, just for the fan aspect, to be able to come back and recognize players, and for those
Absolutely.
players, too, to build more of a fan base.
Absolutely, and we've been able to add some really cool things. So starting last year, after every single game, no matter how long the game lasted, kids run the bases now every game. So kids can run down on the field, and our players stay after on the field, win, lose, or draw. If they won by 10 or lost by 20, and they're going to sign every kid's autograph. So kids no longer have to wait until the players are done changing and showering and eating dinner to get autographs. It happens right on the field after
that's
games.
fun.
So in our games actually in 2023, there's lots of changes coming to the stadium out there. But one of the biggest changes for the Voyagers is we're adding a pitch clock. And real diehard baseball fans will know this. They've been testing this throughout minor league baseball baseball in independent leagues for years, and we're adding it this year, where there is a max amount of time between pitches. And what that does is that is basically guaranteed that no game will go over 3 hours. Most games will be about 2.5 hours to 2 hours and 45 minutes starting next year. So you don't ever have to worry about those marathon late nights if you want to see the end of a Voyager game next summer. So that'll be a lot of fun and a new wrinkle for fans when they come out.
That's going to be an interesting change to the game as a whole.
For sure.
Yeah, I'll just be in the concession selling hot dogs, but best of luck to everyone figuring it out.
My gosh.
Somebody else's job there. Something fun always, every summer it seems there's fireworks at Centene Stadium, other fun events that happen throughout the summer. Are those in store as well?
Absolutely. You'll see our full promotional schedule will be released here this spring. We'll start releasing individual dates into the new year. So, of course, we have fireworks on opening night, 4th of July, on Military Appreciation Night, sponsored by First Liberty Federal Credit Union.
Well done.
I got my plugs ready. I'm always ready. And then, then all sorts of great giveaways, promotions, events, things like that. You can always expect a little bit more than just baseball when you come out to the ballpark and cheer on the Voyagers.
We've said it time and time again on this show how much the environment out there is spectacular and almost better than a pro, like a Colorado Rockies type game, because you've got that more intimate setting. You get more access. You don't have to, walk 5 miles to get your beer or your hot dog.
Yeah.
And it really is, there's always some fun promotion happening.
Experience.
Throughout the thing, kids singing and hula hooping and
Yeah, and we still have a free kids zone. Most places charge for that, so you can just dump your kids off. They'll play in the bounce house. We are not liable, though. So
there's a lot of waivers there.
Remember
a lot
that
of
part.
8-year-olds just getting crazy in there. But then you can go get yourself a beer, have a little relax, mom and dad. It's all right. You're at the ballpark.
Get some merch before you head home. We took. I had talked about the Voyagers often, and my niece says, "Well, I would like to go to the baseball game," and I said, "Oh, okay, then tell your mom to plan a weekend. I'll come get you. We'll go to a baseball game." And I wasn't quite sure how a 7-year-old was going to handle, being from out of town, not knowing everything. I was pretty proud of her. She went to the bounce house. She did the kids zone. She had a fun time, ate every piece of candy that I would buy her.
We appreciate it.
Yeah. Had some snacks. And then she actually watched the game, and she's like, "Yeah, this I don't think is for me." And I'm like,
but the rest of the experience she was on board with.
Yeah, just more time at the kids zone. It's just fine. Just
concessions.
remind them, if you, as a parent, want to watch till the end of the game, you can bribe them because they get to go run around the bases after the game. And that usually does the trick for most kids.
Yeah.
That chance just to run around the field. And other exciting news, if people haven't heard about the Voyagers, and I know KRTV did a story, but we'll break it publicly here on this podcast. We did receive a large ARPA grant. So for the first time in 80 years, the playing surface at the Voyager Stadium will be completely redone.
Wow.
We will be tearing out about 5 to 6 inches of dirt, putting a new irrigation, grass, everything, re-leveling it. It is going to be an amazing upgrade to the facility and the largest since 2008. And
80 years in the making for this.
Yeah,
wow.
and that's not bad.
Not bad. So, if the ballpark out there is owned by the city of Great Falls, so we really like to think we stretch those tax dollars quite a bit on that one.
No kidding.
Look at how efficient we are with our fun.
So, if anybody wants a replica of some old copper piping from the 1940s in February, let us know. I'm sure I can sell it to you.
Yeah, there you go. Add that to the merchandise
It'll be part of an auction.
That's right.
We can get top dollar for that.
Yeah.
So, Scott, how did you get into the baseball world? Did you play when you were a kid?
I did play in high school, and I went to a small Division III college in Indiana, DePaul University, with the W, not the art school. And I was a history major, and not a good one, I would say, is probably fair. So a lot of people ask, when I get to talk to school groups, what do you do with a history degree? And there's 2 real options. You either become a teacher, which is a great profession, or you move back in with your parents. Those are really the two options. And I went with option B.
Because you didn't go on to get like a PhD in it or something.
No,
so,
I don't think any secondary education program was probably going to be very excited to have 22-year-old Scott Reisner join them. So
they weren't knocking down the door going,
No.
"We'd love you, Scott. We'd love you to join."
Yeah, no,
our
I
team.
wasn't being recruited, as they say. And the year was 2009, and the people in this room will know that is considered the worst year to graduate college in the history of the United States. The higher rates were lower than the Great Depression by half. So, a great time to finish. So when I ran...
I was an 08 college grad,
so you
so I understand.
It was a lot of fun. And I was selling windows and siding door to door.
Oh, my gosh.
No.
Which you think is rough, but there are great stories and a lot of fun. The number of people that will just welcome you into their home and offer you a drink and some food is shocking,
That
really.
seems creepy.
Yeah, it's a little creepy, but it was a lot of fun. But I was like, this is probably not a career.
Okay.
So I just thought, I was drinking a couple drinks with some college friends, and we were watching a baseball game, and I thought, that sounds like fun. I should do that. Not knowing
Not
that people go
playing
to
baseball.
No, not playing, but just doing
being
something.
part of that, yeah.
And I didn't know at the time that people go to school for this. They start internships and shadow programs
You were already
as
way
high
behind
school
the
and
curve here.
college. And I'm like 22 with no experience. So I sent out probably 200 paper resumes. Again, 2009. I still am not very good at computers. And only one team offered me a job. It was a team in Leesburg, Florida, which is about 45 minutes north of Orlando. And if you've ever been to Central Florida, don't.
We got it all here in Great Falls. You don't need to go there.
Yeah, you definitely don't need to go. It's a little bit warmer today, but our odds of alligator attack are 0, and we didn't invent bath salts.
Yeah.
So, we have a lot of things going for us. And so I moved down there working for a team called the Lake County Black Bears. It was a startup brand new winter baseball league, and everyone knows startup sports leagues are stable.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're a
Dream
good
team.
investment.
Yeah, so I would say about 5 months in, when the paycheck started to bounce, we knew we probably had some problems. And I have lots of stories. Mostly of them are not appropriate probably for this podcast. So off air, feel free to ask me. But I loved the job. Even though I had to take leftover concessions food, and my roommate and I would sell them outside of the only bar in the town. There was one bar, and we would sell the leftover concessions food so we could make rent.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it was a great experience, and
Learn a little hustle.
I thought this is what I want to do with my life. And so after
You
that,
built so much character during
That's
that
right.
time that you just...
it was a lot
Yep.
of fun. It was crazy. So one day we could get into stories on that little shindig I had down there. But then after that, I was like, let's do baseball. So I moved to Gwinnett, Georgia, outside Atlanta, worked for a team, Montgomery, Alabama. And then I heard about an organization in Montana through a friend that had fired their entire staff and was starting from scratch.
Oh, wow.
And I thought that sounded awesome. I had just, I'd worked for a couple bigger organizations. One of them was making me wear a tie to work, even though I had a cubicle, which I thought was pretty strange because, again, selling hot dogs.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me get back to this kind of startup baseball like I had in Florida, and maybe one where the checks don't bounce, and that sounds perfect. So I applied for a job up here and got the position and drove sight unseen from Alabama to Great Falls, Montana in January of 2011.
Perfect.
And love it. This is home now. So it's been whatever that is.
Whatever the math is
about
on
to
that.
hit like
11, 12
13
years, yeah.
seasons now with the Voyagers or something like that. So a couple days out there. It's been
Wow.
great.
Yeah. So, I've known Scott for a long time, off and on. He was another one of my...
Most people like to know me off and on, so that's perfect.
That was a weird way to say it. I've known Scott for a while, and he is also one of my former 5 Under 35 winners from when I did that program at KRTV, which recognizes people who really have a love or are champions of Great Falls. And
You
Scott's,
picked him,
yeah,
huh?
and Scott was an obvious winner of that when he was nominated. So tell us, Scott, a little bit about, these are things we talked about when I interviewed you for that, but why is Great Falls, you came here and you're like, yeah, this is home now. Why are you so invested in this community now?
Well, I mean, I love Great Falls. Anyone that's met me knows I'm probably obnoxiously pro Great Falls.
Yeah.
And when I even visit other cities, we actually just were in Billings for my fiance had some work down there, and I was able to travel with her, and we were at a restaurant and ended up convincing our waitress that she'd never visited Great Falls before and wasn't sure what was going on. And I was like, here's some websites. Allison will text them to you, so it's like it never turns off. But what I really think
thanks for, spreading the word for us.
Yeah.
down
Well,
there,
obviously
too.
I was pushing Voyagers in Newberry, but I appreciate it all the same. It's not like there wasn't a little something in it for me, but Great Falls is just a tremendous community. And what I always tell people is the best thing about Great Falls is that it is a community that, unlike other places, has the ability, you can make any impact you want to make. So whether you want to the life you want, whether you want to raise a family, this is a great place to do that. Whether you want to be an entrepreneur, whether you want to work for a medium or large size company and you're work your way up a corporate ladder, it has everything. And the people here are willing, and for a long time now, I think, been wanting people that come in and want to do things.
Yep.
And I came here with nothing and was able to meet just tremendous people. Vinny Papura, who is the majority shareholder of the Voyagers, Tim Peterson from LPW. I mean, I could just name drop all the Great Falls greats out here, but people that probably in any other town would have been like, who is this 24-year-old kid that stays out too late, wakes up too early, and just be like, go sell some, program ads and get to work. But it's a town where people will really sit down and hear you out and listen to you and work with you. You can go about to any business and say, hey, I need help with this, and they will drop what they are doing and they will help you. And that doesn't matter whether you are one of the heads of D.A. Davidson, whether you own your own company in town, just about to a person. That is how Great Falls operates. And I just do not think there's another place that I've seen in the United States like it.
So is one of these conversations that you've had late at night resulted in the Newberry? I can only assume that's the story I tell everyone. And I make up the stories pretty often. But the Newberry's only a year plus old now.
Just over a year old, yes.
Which is really just an infant baby
We are
business.
brand new. We are alive and rocking and rolling literally. So we're pretty excited.
So tell us a little bit. We've had an intro on the Newberry from some staff that that worked there, and it was really fun. It was before you even opened. We had a lot of hopes and dreams at that time. A lot of, this is what we think might happen. This is what we think might work. And there was a lot of great energy. Still a lot of great energy today. But what do we know now after a year of learning stuff? And from this point moving forward, what can we expect from the Newberry in 2023?
You can expect a lot of great live music and entertainment. We have our foot down on the pedal. We have learned some things over our first year, like any new business does, and we have had some tremendous shows, and we have had tremendous shows that nobody went to.
Yeah.
So we are certainly learning, and I think the biggest thing is, we are just evangelical about downtown and the live entertainment that is being provided there at the Newberry and other places, that even if you aren't a huge fan of a band, come on down. Some of the best shows we've had are bands that nobody knows. And what we are really looking forward to as we get into 2023 and 2024 is not only bringing you some great big name shows like Warrant that we just announced. So, the Cherry Pie will be rocking in January 24th down at the Newberry, but all sorts of other smaller shows as well. So come on out if you love rock music. We have a band, Titus Andronicus, coming out, which is just like a famous underground garage rock band that is great. And I've been listening to them for about a month now, and just phenomenal. So even if you like a genre of music or you're interested in trying something new, just visit the newberrymt.com and see what's going on. There's going to be something for everybody. And we hit all sorts of price points. We have our first free show coming up in January. We have tickets as low as $15. Not quite on that one. But
get your tickets early, though, for any of the shows that you see coming up, because the venue is really personable and tickets sell out.
Yes, like Warren, for instance, will be most likely a sold-out show. So that's one to get ahead of time. They play usually 2,500 to 3,000 cap rooms, and we were able to get them to come to the Newberry in January. So we're pretty excited about that because we only hold 900 as our max capacity in there. So, but all sorts of shows are great.
And, a feature that's near and dear to my heart, 900 capacity for people, 3 bars on the main level.
Yeah. Yes, there's
3
a lot of
places
options
to access for beer.
And we actually have a bar upstairs, too.
I know.
So we actually have 4 bars in the Newberry. As far as the research I've done, which is extensive, we have the most bartenders per person of any music venue ever. And again, we love Great Falls. And we know what Great Falls is.
what people want here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't have to worry about going to some of these shows where it's 2 bars for 2,000 people.
Yeah, go stand in line for half the time.
Yeah, I've learned my lesson at the stadium where we will have, 8 points of sale for beer for 800 people. And I'm like, just come get it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's keep it
good
coming.
lesson. I will say, too, I'll put a plug in because we've partnered with you all, and we'll be giving away some tickets. We're excited because some of these shows, like Reggie Watts in December and things, are sold out performances, and we're able to give away tickets to these. So we're happy to be partnering with you guys to do that, and just keep an eye out on our social channels.
Yeah, make sure on Visit Great Falls social channels, Facebook, Instagram. Give them a like, a follow, and
you can win free tickets.
And you can win
people.
Tickets.
It's a great chance to check us out. We know that less than 10% of our community has been to a show. Right now, 45% of all of our tickets are outside of Great Falls.
Wow.
Oh.
So what we are saying is, come on, Great Falls. We got it going on. Come check us out. We know a lot of people listening to this probably haven't been to a show yet. But just,
that's true.
Find the genre you like. Go to our website. We got a band for you. We do it all. Hip-hop, rock, country, some tree called hick hop, which I'm not even sure, but it's going to be great.
Genre. Now, and it's not just music. You had Rob Schneider in the past year, a great comedian.
You could certainly expect a lot more comedy. This is something that, as we've kind of learned around Montana, nobody was really doing. Even some of the other great venues in our state had kind of stayed away from comedy shows for whatever reason, and we have found them phenomenal. They're a ton of fun. Great Falls has really loved them and showed up, so we appreciate all the support for those. And we just have more of them coming. We have a show with 2 young up-and-coming comedians in January. We just announced Gary Goldman in March, who is a very famous comedian. We have another announcement for another comedy show coming out next week with a guy, if anyone has seen the TV show Workaholics, will, if you remember the old Comedy Central show, which was great, but an actor from that will be out here. So all sorts of different comedians, genres of comedy, and we try to come up with kind of unique voices, people that you maybe not heard of, but comedy transcends everybody. I don't care who you are, you're going to have a good time at some of our comedy shows. So come on out to those. They are some of the best.
And then the Newberry, oddly enough, partners every once and again with the Voyager Stadium.
We sure do.
Weird.
That was a really tough negotiation.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell
imagine.
you, Allison saw me going back and forth across the table arguing, and we came to an accord, though.
Yeah, we got there. Centene Stadium this last year hosted In This Moment, which not a band I knew about, but of course knew it was announced. I'm like, well, let me learn.
I would say their hit song, but that would probably have to be bleeped out.
Yeah, they're a different type of genre, but had great response. It was their only show in the state was here in Great Falls.
And it was a tremendous, and we appreciate, we know outdoor shows, there's going to be weather and date changes like after that. We tried it in September 30th was the original date, which we know we've got problems trying to do an outdoor show. In our defense, it was only 2 days in all of September rained.
Right.
So,
you just happened to pick those.
I was shocked. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Right.
Like,
all the days.
And the weather this past year was just warm, hot, no rain
nice
after
for fall
June.
shows.
But it is Great Falls, Montana.
Yeah, we had 4 days of rain. One was on 4th of July, and one was on our big concert. But we appreciate everyone, and especially anyone outside of Great Falls. We sold a ton of tickets around the state to that, and those folks came back when we rescheduled them in October.
Oh, that's great.
And that is
thank
just
you,
great
Scott.
to see. And, you're welcome, hotel ears listening. That is 2 nights we got for the price of one.
Yes.
I saw a post on social media. Was a fan out of Canada is like, I'm coming down for the day and then driving back because I got to be to work the next day. I'm like, ooh, that is some commitment.
Yeah, no kidding.
But, our fans listening in Canada, we are only a 3-hour drive from Lethbridge and 5 hours from Calgary. So it's a pretty simple drive.
Yeah.
And our beers are affordable.
That's right. Very affordable.
That's true.
Yes.
Speaking of drinks, there was one concoction that I tried at the Newberry bar that was delicious. I'm usually a beer or wine girl, but it was a like apple cinnamon.
Yes, we are doing
something.
infusions over there.
Yeah.
So all the drink services provided by MBAR. Again, another really difficult negotiation. But so of course we couldn't just have regular beer and regular cocktails, which of course you can get during any show because speed is king at concert.
Yeah.
But we also have a lot of infused cocktails, so you can get all sorts of mixes. They're always changing. The Newberry bar is actually open anytime we don't have a concert or event in there, so you can just hop in, try one of the cocktails, check out the place when you're kind of going up and down Central.
Scott, I have a dream for the Newberry bar area. And I'm probably sure you've already thought of it, but if you hadn't, I just thought I'd throw it out there as a free one. I'd love for the upcoming music that's going to be performed live at the Newberry to play overhead while I'm at the Newberry Lounge.
It is in the mix, so there's already a playlist that is created and updated, and it's always upcoming and then whatever the most recent couple shows was. So past and upcoming artists.
See, that's a brilliant idea.
Because if you do say so yourself.
When you're in there, then you're having these great cocktails, and this happens to me all the time. Like I'll be in a place and they've got some weird music station on and it's songs I've never heard of, so I'm just sitting there shazamming everything, trying to figure out who these people are, and I'm like, oh, these are good people, and then to know everyone that's being played is either played or is going to play the Newberry, brilliant.
Yeah, just listen up to it.
Whets
it's great.
your appetite.
You're
for
very
them,
welcome
if you will.
for that brilliant tangent that I had.
I'll make sure we're on it.
So brought up the N bar. We've talked about that's another one of your
just hit our 5-year anniversary about a month ago. So we were pretty excited about that. 5 years in downtown Great Falls with the N bar. Just a tremendous group. I know you guys have talked to Mike Hallahan, our managing partner down there, but if you haven't been, best cocktails in the state. And maybe the best high-end dinner in the state. As someone that likes a good meal, I eat there too often.
Well, and what's nice about that menu, in my opinion, is it's not very big, and you're not going to get overwhelmed by options.
No.
You've got a few select options. They're all going to be amazing.
Very
Just
well
pick
done.
one.
I'm not here to drag, but a small menu, the reason that places have small menus is because you're making that food from scratch every day, and you're really deciding what are the best ingredients, and so your menu changes often and is small. So when people wonder why there's only 4 or 5 entree options at N Bar, that is the reason. It's because we want to make sure that the food putting out is great. You know, we're not getting in the freezer. Our chicken tenders over at the block are made fresh every day, so you don't have to worry about that.
And I don't know if we've given enough love to the block.
No.
Great Falls is only gourmet grilled
this is we are sitting
place.
here in December, a nice warm day outside. Not a day you want to go get grilled cheese and tomato soup at all.
It's the perfect day. He's
yeah.
being sarcastic, folks.
There's some really great takes on various kinds of grilled cheese sandwiches there. We're not talking just like your basic slap on a slice of Kraft cheese and throw it in the toaster
If you haven't had
situation.
the buffalo chicken dip grilled cheese,
I have not.
you are blind, but one day you can see.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, there's some epic sandwiches.
what we do, I'm
there.
just going to describe this sandwich
Yeah,
for you
please
for
do.
the
Oh, I
listeners
can't
that haven't
wait.
My
had
mouth
it.
will start
So
watering.
what you do,
Everyone take a break now. If you're driving, just
You
pull
stop
over.
so you
It's-
can sit back.
Okay.
close
It's
gonna
your
get
eyes.
nasty.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So you
Let it
take
go.
2 slices of Montana-made sourdough bread.
Mm-hmm.
You get that a little butter on it, right? You got to butter each side of the bread, and we have the butter stays melted. It's right on the grill, so you just
Ooh.
spin it across the wheel. And it's great.
Slap
I need
it
one of these
down.
for my house.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
You know,
sounds
the
really
diabetes
helpful.
is waiting. And then you throw the bread down on the grill, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got cheese, but not only do you have cheese, you take buffalo chicken dip, house-made buffalo chicken dip, and you spread that on that bread, on each piece of bread.
Okay.
Right? So you're looking pretty good already.
Already
And then you
saturated.
take a house-made hand-breaded chicken tender that has
Ooh.
been fried and cooked especially for this sandwich. It is not waiting. It is not under a hot lamp. That thing is being
Ooh.
fried, pulled out. It is being chopped up and placed on top of the buffalo chicken dip. And then when you are just about done, you have taken your bread. The bread is nice and crispy, and you are putting on the serving station. You hit that with a little bit of buffalo sauce just for a little kicker.
Uh-huh.
And then you serve it with some house-made potato chips.
Those chips are
And I would
good.
recommend getting a side of buffalo chicken dip with that sandwich.
Oh.
And whew, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
You're just going to sit there and moan through your entire meal. And it's fine. Everyone
it's
around
fine.
you is going to
Everyone
understand.
will be doing it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
if you've seen
yeah.
diners, drives, and dives, and you
Yeah.
know the Guy Fieri hunch where he's got a hunch over that, you see that a lot at the block where you
Yeah.
eat that
People are
sandwich,
just
but you
like,
got to lean
oh.
over, or that is going to just drip on
All
you,
over.
and then people are going to be smelling you all day, and it's going to be weird.
Yeah.
But-
or
yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the other fun thing is you're on vacation because you're visiting Great Falls.
Right.
You can have a beer with it,
Oh,
no matter
yeah.
if you're
Good
having it
options
for
right there.
breakfast, lunch, dinner.
24 taps going on over at the block too. So if you like beer, one of the largest draft selections in the entire city is down at the block.
Yeah.
24 micro beers on draft. It's great. You can get by the pitcher if you're really feeling after it. You know, get yourself
Depends
a
on
pitcher
how
of
you
Mighty
spend
Mo
your-
beer,
Yeah,
and
there you go.
at 2 in the afternoon,
Ooh.
maybe at lunch. I don't know. Who am I to
Hey,
judge?
You do you.
Yeah.
It's vacation.
You do
yeah.
the way you vacation. We know there's
judgment
people
here.
out there like that.
Yeah. You can just sit then and digest and waddle over to the Newberry after you're done with your
That's right. You
sandwich.
you do a late lunch.
Yeah.
You know, sit there, have a couple beers, move over to M-Bar, go to the show, and we
go
won't have
get
to
a
cut you
craft-
off at all. It'll be
Yeah.
fine.
No. Nope.
Then you can just go back, get a nice craft cocktail over at N-Bar when you're done.
And there's lots of options downtown,
there are.
obviously, right now and growing, which we're very excited about.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Scott, I know you're not necessarily a huge music fan, which is kind of weird.
Shh, you're not supposed to be saying
tell.
that out
But-
loud.
But do you have a favorite concert from the last year?
Oh my gosh, I have a ton of them. So, and before you say I'm not a music fan, I would say I didn't grow up historically around music.
Okay.
But I love
That's a-
going to concerts, and I would credit that with some of the diverse choice. I do the buying for our shows, and we really focus on what people want. So when you buy more tickets to a show or genre, you'll see more of that show or genre. Very exciting. Very
It's like
hard stuff.
an algorithm on
weird.
social media.
It's almost like that.
In-person algorithm.
But so we've had some phenomenal shows. I will point out, and again, to harp on coming to shows that you might not know the band. There was a very small upcoming rock band called The Brevet that came out here this fall. And it was a smaller attended show, only about 115, 120 people. But wow. I mean, I not only am still listening to their music, I've gotten friends from all over the country hooked on The Brevet. I was sending them out saying, hey, you would love this. Check this stuff out. And they absolutely crushed it. And so checking out these bands that you might not know, you're going to run into some great ones. Another one that always sticks out to me. And again, it was another one of these smaller attended shows, was an up-and-coming blues guitarist named Allie Venable. There was only about 90 people at the show, so it was, plenty of space, to very intimate setting to see someone that's won some blues guitar awards, but just amazing young artist that's up and coming. One of the best guitar players we've had there, maybe the best.
Oh.
And that's saying something with all the artists we've had through there. So it's been pretty exciting. Of course, the big sold-out shows are tremendous. You see Joe Nichols, Diamond Rio, Hinder, Puddle of Mud was just, it was 2005. My sunroof was open and I was rocking out. So, it's there's been so many good ones.
Yeah.
You had last year, which you are doing again this year, this 90s rap night.
90s hip-hop night. 90s at the Newberry. Jello shots will be a-flowing.
So we did that before, and I want to say Tone Loc was there.
Yes, he was there. He was on the lineup last year. And so the lineup this year is we have CNC Music Factory back. So if you were there last year and you saw Freedom Williams out there rocking, I was sweating. It was great. We have Digital Underground. We have so many great artists. Fat Man Scoop, the Quad City DJs.
Yeah.
So you get to see Space Jam live and in person.
Love it.
Oh, my heart.
The Michael Jordan version.
It's going to be it's great. Put on your 90s outfit. Come on out. Tickets are available now for that.
Yeah.
It is a hip-hop throwback show like Montana only saw last year, and we're doing it again, and no one else is doing these. So come over from all over the state coming in for this show. It's going to be a lot of fun. It is still... That might be the best party we've thrown. I would say it was a concert, but it was just a party.
Yeah.
So if you're just looking to come out with some friends, leave the kids at home and tell your babysitter, your grandparents, your aunt, uncle, whoever's watching them, that you will not be picking them up that night. So it is a sleepover, and come on out.
So the music usually ends around, I'd say 10
to 10:30. Correct.
Do you kick people out after that, or you just let them hang out and
you
do
can
Jello
actually
shots
hang
till
out at
2?
the bar. We will close the music side because our staff
okay.
obviously has to clean up. The artist doesn't necessarily want people. But, they have been known to go to the Sip and Dip. I think we're up to like 18 or 20 artists that have gotten into the pool.
Oh, my gosh.
Been
a mermaid.
So it is quite the after-party spot. There's lots of downtown places open after a show. But the Sip and Dip has really... been a go-to spot.
We've had Josh Blue swim in the tank.
Yes,
so even the Brevet guys were in there. I cannot say whether they were fully clothed or not.
Oh,
I
boy.
will, I'll just let your imagination run.
Okay.
You get to pick that one.
Yeah.
Colt Ford, who wasn't at the Newberry, but was for the Downtown
The
Summer
4th of
Jam.
July show, correct.
Yeah.
4th of July Hootenanny.
There you
I
go.
stand corrected.
Yeah.
They all blend
got it.
together sometimes.
It was downtown also.
But custom tails made for those mermen. They had to jump
we
in.
got our manager from the Voyagers, Tommy Thompson, jumped in this year.
Nice.
It is a treasure trove of great memories and obscene activities
The
that
who's
happen out
who.
there. That's right. So when you come visit Great Falls, or you live here and you're rediscovering things, make sure you always keep the Sip and Dip on your list, because you never know what's going to happen out of that bar after a show. It's, a Tuesday night and things are going to get weird.
Have you been in the pool before?
Over my dead body.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh,
I have certain
think that
standards.
sounds like a challenge.
Certain standards.
People
What
have
does that mean?
People have tried. I'm not a very good swimmer is really what it comes down to. I'm more of a sinker.
Hey, I think
So-
that's
But
perfect.
that's perfect, though. You get in and then you
gotta
sink
get
to the bottom,
window.
wave, and then someone can pull you back up.
And I'm sure I'm not going to go quietly sleeping in my bed one day, but I'm not sure the headline that Scott Reisner dies in the bottom dressed as a merman
They don't need that type of
is going to do my
publicity.
family proud.
I think
but you never know.
they'd be excited. They'd be like, "This is the first death ever in the mermaid
Wow.
tank."
I think we could arrange for some safety mermaid Bayou.
I'm a little worried about it.
Yeah.
We now have a new goal in life, which is happiness
To help Scott
for
survive the tank.
But you did mention another great event. So if you are from outside of town, 4th of July Hootenanny, we announce those shows in the early spring. So early March, we will be announcing our Downtown Summer Jam series as well as the 4th of July Hootenanny again. That is a free concert after the parade in downtown Great Falls. If you haven't been down to it, talk about another great party. Colt Ford last year, about 5,000 people in downtown Great Falls. Just,
The pictures are cool.
partying it up.
People just covering the streets down there, the stage in the middle of the intersection.
And you all have been doing the 4th of July Hootenanny for
2019 was our first year with that, and then we obviously had to take a break in 2020. We should try, and then 21 and 22. So this will be year number 4, the 4th show in 5 years for the 4th of July Hootenanny,
and they're mostly people you're going to remember or
we're
recognize.
bringing in big names for that. Yeah, we've had Colt Ford, Landco, Granger Smith. So big country names coming out for that. And we're starting to get artists that want to play this show. So Great Falls has really just made a tremendous event out of 4th of July. We are really the 4th of July place to be in the region, if not the country. So come on out. It's unexpected, but the home of America is in Great Falls, Montana.
Right here.
America.
Because you're going to do the parade, you can do the music, and then
You've got the baseball game.
Yes.
We've got it all in one. It's
America.
almost like we
That's
try to
very
plan a day for
all-American.
everybody.
Yeah.
Good job at the negotiation table.
Again,
Scott.
it was tough, but it was worth pulling off. So you can do it all, and you can start early and late, get fireworks, get music, get baseball, get hot dogs, get a cold beer. What else do you need?
Exactly. I'm going to go completely in a different direction than we were at. Back to favorites, though.
Okay.
The drink you recommend at the End Bar.
Oh, classic old fashioned. Never sweat whiskey from a town that apparently I'm not allowed to talk about, Butte.
Hey, I'm sure Butte's great. No, Butte is great.
But we make the best cocktail with their whiskey.
Yes,
so if you want to see their whiskey truly perfected, come get just a classic old fashioned with Never Sweat whiskey. It is the best old fashioned, and we as a group, as partners, have traveled everywhere in the country trying different old fashions to make sure we have the best. And I am very confident in saying it is the best old fashioned
in town,
maybe in the United States. I am that confident in
claim.
this drink.
Wow.
So if you like whiskey, even if you don't, try it. It is made, I won't give it away, it's made the old way. There's lots of variations to an old fashioned. If you muddle a cherry in your drink, you can drop dead.
There's the gauntlet right there.
I just threw it down.
Ooh.
So it's you will not see a muddled cherry in our old fashioned.
Okay.
#dreams. So it's great. So if you like whiskey, try that. That has been a staple since we opened. It is our number one selling cocktail. It's been our number one selling drink every month that we've been open.
Huh.
So if you come and try
It's
it.
quite the reputation it has there.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
great.
That's why you listen to this podcast, folks.
So you know the
It is worth the
insider
trip to
details.
Great Falls, Montana alone
for that old fashioned.
is the old fashioned.
Wow.
I'm
Yeah.
going to have it now.
I haven't had 10 in a sitting in weeks.
Just 9. Wow.
Huh.
Okay, so you talked about some of your favorite Newberry bands, talked about his favorite drink at N Bar.
I'm going to just go with the buffalo chicken sandwich was his favorite sandwich.
from-
Yeah, it's
yep,
definitely
from the block.
the best. But we have weekly specials. There's a new sandwich of the week every week. So no matter when you're coming in, there's going to be some crazy creation going on over there, something that one of our chefs back there has cooked up, and it's always great.
So we often claim we are Montana's base camp for art and adventure. And when we talk about our art scene, let me just again remind you, it is the globalness of the art. You want to talk about creative folks. Look at the way these sandwiches are being created. The craft cocktails are being created. These are artists
an art
in their
form.
own right. And they're sourcing local foods. That's probably another cool partnership with the N Bar is the meat that comes on that menu oftentimes is from Central Avenue Meat.
We're right around the corner.
Yeah.
It's a
Keeping it
long
in the
delivery.
family there.
It's
Yep.
it's really shipped all the way across Central Avenue.
Yeah.
So it's very far, but it's great. So when you get our steaks or Montana made from Central Avenue Meats when you come out for dinner, and a lot of the beef products that we sell are right from there, and it's been a tremendous partnership. There's lots of great partnerships around the town. So when you come to Great Falls, you might not think it with a little town in Montana, but we really do our best to keep everything local.
Well, and I think it's one of the neatest things about our community is there's not really any competition. It's just a cooperative collaboration
We are
throughout the
we are
community.
screaming from the mountaintop. We want more bars and restaurants in downtown Great Falls. So anyone that's interested or has a dream, come visit with us. We'll certainly visit with you and try to help you because we love downtown, and it's only going to be growing over the next handful of years. So if you haven't been downtown in a while, check it out. There's more than enough to do and more on the way here the next 12 to 18 months to be excited about.
I want to put a plug in too for the Newberry space. We talk about the various concerts and performances and things, but it's also become a really great spot for people who are hosting meetings or other type of events. Weddings.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Weddings have been crazy. So if you are looking to get married, 2023 is just about sold out.
Wow.
So if you're looking for a Saturday wedding in 2023, you've got to call over there or email Carrie at thenewberrymt.com today, because there's only a couple winter weekends left. Summer is booked and done. We have most of the summer dates in 2024 are already taken. So people are really getting way in advance on this wedding thing. So come on out and get it done.
People seem to plan for those things.
Yeah.
It's
Weird.
crazy. I know. I don't know what's going on. But if you're looking for a private event or you are planning a wedding, the Newberry is phenomenal. And our staff over there does more than just provide a space. They are really the partners in your wedding. We have local caterers that we work with. We're there through your event. Carrie, who you guys know here, is as good as they come. She will work with the bride and groom on every detail, making sure their vendors are aligned. It's almost like you get a mini wedding planning service included. And our staff will put together playlists and help with DJing, really save you costs. We really take pride in the fact that we are not going to nickel and dime you at the Newberry. So when you go to other venues, and as someone that is planning a wedding has learned this, you have to pay for everything. You got the venue. Oh, now you want tables? Extra.
You want to
you
cut your cake at your reception?
Extra. You want a chair because you don't want grandma to stand? Extra.
Yeah.
And
It's
at the Newberry,
ridiculous.
we don't do that. Everything is just the price is the price is the price. The table runners, the linens, they're just included. You know what I mean? We already bought the linen. We don't need to charge you $25 per table.
Did you build it into the cost of the rental?
It's almost like we thought ahead as a company and thought if we invest in this now, we can make it easier for people renting.
Wow.
So
What a
I would say if
concept.
you are planning an event or a wedding and you see 20 or 30 extra cleanup fee, if you see a cleanup fee on your bill, just call us at the Newberry, and we're happy to help you. We will clean.
And there's catering right next
and you
door.
don't have to clean up after your own wedding, which I have heard and been a part of at some weddings, and that is wild to me. Thanks for your $5,000 for renting the space, but now
stay
could you
here.
take out the trash?
Yeah, in your
You
wedding
know?
dress, please.
Yeah, no, thank you. So it's a great space. We also have a ton of fundraisers out there. So a lot of those events, the tickets are already on sale for. So if music isn't your thing, you're crazy, come on out and party. But if it's not, there's lots of other events out there. Chefs and Champagne is already on sale right now. Tardy Gras, so many great fundraisers and events out there. And they do a tremendous job working in the space and creating fun, unique events. So I always tell people another great thing about Great Falls. So if you're looking to visit and you're looking for entertainment, fundraiser equals fun in our town, unlike other places.
True. That's very true.
It may be a fundraiser, but it's
party
just
for
an
the
event.
people. Yeah.
It's a unique event that
you'll never drink too much and buy a silent auction item. That never happens.
Ever.
Ask my husband about that. How we ended up with a Pepsi machine in our garage. That's a gun safe.
I think that's a good investment.
That's what everybody needs, I've been told.
This this week, one kind of final element of what happens at the Newberry, which I think is a pretty fun event. If you're already in town for Christmas, or you decided let's go to Great Falls for Christmas before it gets cold, and you're cutting it a little close. You should probably already be here.
Especially because this podcast is coming out in January.
Yeah. But this just shows the variety.
Yes.
So just
get ready
scratch
for
that.
next Christmas.
Next year.
Yes.
There's a holiday movie at the
Yes.
Newberry.
Absolutely.
So it's like
So-
a theater, but you get treats and crafts and
Santa.
special visits from
You could
special
just
folks.
come back in May for Star Wars night,
See?
which will be going on again. But yeah, we have certainly worked on different theme nights, movie nights, different events that we can really put on there. You know, it's a great space. We have a tremendous video screen. So why not just put on fun things? So yeah,
Good
you've
sound.
already missed it, but come on out next December 2023 for holiday movie night, movie to be determined.
Right.
And you get to meet Santa, get dinner, and everything's included too. It's another one of these events that you can go to that when you purchase your ticket, your food, your arts and crafts, everything's already built into the price. You're not buying a ticket and then we're charging you another $20 to get your photo taken with Santa. You know what I mean? And as someone that's been in the event and entertainment business for a couple days now, that is definitely one of my pet peeves is when you buy a ticket to things
And then things
and
are more.
everything costs.
Add-on.
Everything's an add-on.
Yeah.
You know, so I went to a really cool experience in another city that I will not mention or the experience because I'm following the rules here. But you bought a ticket, but then all the experiences were extra.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so it's like, well, I'll just
Kind
sit
of puts
here.
a little damper
I'll
on
pay,
it.
Yeah.
I'll pay
It's
for my
annoying.
beer, you know,
Right.
and I'll pay for my snacks, but all
But
the
beyond
stuff should be
that,
included.
yeah.
So when you
Yeah.
come to an event at the Newberry, you don't have to worry about that.
Mm.
And same with the Voyagers. It's just included.
Yeah.
Well, you have to buy your beer and food.
Well, sometimes it's really inexpensive. Come out to a Sip and Dip Thirsty Thursday, and you
Oh,
can get
yeah.
a $2 12-ounce draft of beer, just
Holy cow.
$2. That is the most inflation-proof
Yeah, no
item
kidding.
in the history of the world. It has been $2 since the 1990s. I mean, come on
exactly.
Yeah,
now.
that's pretty impressive.
I did shrink the cup in 2012, but let's 12 ounces. It's here to stay.
That's
We
still
will
a
not
lot,
be.
yeah.
I've ordered cups for years, so we are. It's 12 ounces for the foreseeable
There you
future.
go.
And movie nights, don't think of it as a theater experience. You're not going to get your popcorn and just sit in a chair and stare at the screen. You're going to have an interactive opportunity to engage and dress up and do fun stuff.
Yeah,
It's
we
not-
have some outdoor movies have been great. The Great Falls
yeah.
Ski and Board Club hosts a phenomenal movie night. We've had all sorts of different associations and groups host different movies throughout the year, and they're a ton of fun. So, I more would fall down a hill than ever go skiing, but the
Wow.
movie is a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean,
Just to
sit
watch these people and
watch
go,
it.
hey, you're going to die.
Yeah.
But it's still a lot of fun.
The Newberry too it's downtown Great Falls. It's in a space that was obviously something else before that.
420 Central.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a happy little accident with that address. We thank you, City of Great Falls.
Yeah.
You were a great help in the project, and we really appreciate the address.
But you walk in and you see the kind of original brick walls in there. There's that kind of industrial feel, but keeping with the tone of some of the historic feel of what the space has been in the past too.
So that was a huge emphasis, not just at the Newberry, but at M Bar, and a lot of folks downtown have taken a lot of pride. So when you go down to the bars and restaurants downtown, you'll see a lot of original buildings being brought back. So one of the greatest things, of the many great things about Great Falls, Montana, is that we didn't destroy our downtown. A lot of places, unfortunately, in the 70s and 80s, I will often ask my architect friends, what were you guys doing?
Yeah.
You didn't need to put plaster over everything.
Everything.
Some of
Yeah.
those, the big questions.
Uh-huh.
like,
But
what was going
what was
happened here?
happening? Your
Yeah.
cartoons were great, but your architecture was trash.
Yeah. Sure.
And so bringing back that original brick, and you see that all over downtown Great Falls. So when people say, "Oh, it's downtown Great Falls has a real industrial type feel to it," it's because this is an industrial
It was,
town, and that's
yeah.
what downtown was. And so when we get into these spaces, we really try to bring that back and make it kind of arcing back to those days of yesteryear. So it looks a little bit like it did in the 40s and 50s. The space of the Newberry, the back 2/3 of it had actually been empty for about 40 years.
Oh, wow.
So it took a lot of work. The original floors are still in there, and we found a
wow.
tremendous local company that came in and fixed up the floors and brought back those original wood floors to their glory. And it's been great to see an old space like that really revived and have people in there. And we have the old photos. You can check out what it was when it was the Newberry 5 and Dime store back in the day. And it's really, really great to see when you get into these spaces and see them when they're finished. There's other people that are doing a tremendous job. The Wild Hare brought back that old building to its former glory, took out the some of the weird stuff that had gotten in there, and brought back the barrel shape of the architecture that is really great. So when you walk around downtown Great Falls, you're stepping back in a time where you're getting new restaurants and new experiences, but in old spaces that have been around here since the 1800s, most of them, almost all of them, and you're seeing what they looked like back then.
And such an interesting commitment. We even have a building downtown that caught on fire, burned in the center, and they are still working to keep the integrity of that
The original structure
element
of
there as they build from the inside up to keep that historic feature still available for people to see. So it's a major commitment, and we do appreciate a lot of the businesses that do that.
Yeah, and a huge shout out to one of the original folks that did that, and that was the Celtic Cowboy and Arvon Hotel.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a place to stay, you can also stay at the Siboney, the O'Hare, which also just got retrofitted.
Yes.
So Sandy Thayer's,
Lots of
the
fun.
proprietor of that property, has done a tremendous job. I mean, obviously it's been a place for eons as a go-to in Great Falls, but the retrofitting is tremendous to bring back the historical feel and look to it. And then when you go to the Celtic Cowboy and you see what they did with that space and bring that back, you can go down to the basement to to the Dark
wine
Horse
smoke.
where it used to be a horse cellar.
Yeah.
I mean, and the
Crazy.
work it takes to bring a horse cellar into a wine locker and bar is
Very
quite of an
cool.
investment that folks are making in our community.
And you can walk there from the Newberry, too.
Yes,
So
everything
perfect.
downtown is
Everything's
walkable, which is stay at the Arvon, stay at the O'Hare. We have a new property coming in online downtown here shortly as well.
Yeah.
So lots of great spaces, and you can just be downtown. There's great restaurants, bars, great historic buildings. It's a tremendous time.
I could be making this number up, but for some reason it seems right.
Go right ahead. Numbers
got
are what
about-
you feel now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Way
way
of
it
the
works.
world, yeah.
Obviously, I'll correct myself if I'm wrong, but I think there's like 200 rooms available just in the downtown
Yeah,
district.
if you include the riverfront. So if you include where you can certainly walk from the Stay Bridge and those hotels.
So the New Gibson,
Okay.
Midtown,
Yep.
Econo, Travel Lodge, Hotel Arvon,
O'Hare.
that's just within blocks.
Yeah.
I think.
That's
Stay tuned. You'll learn
well,
more.
correct. Yes.
You can learn more in future episodes.
I remember when you were building the Newberry, I used to live downtown, not a block from the Newberry, and I love living down there. But I remember watching from the outside, and I was like, the facade looks really cool. I don't know how this space is going to hold this many people because it just looks like a regular kind of, by regular, I mean just regular space sizing for the front of it. And then you walk in, you're like, oh, there's a big space in here. Yeah, I remember thinking, I was like, what is back there that they're going to build a concert
we had an
venue?
okay architect.
He's decent.
Over with LPW Architecture. So if you're looking for a company that's going to keep that historical feel, that is my plug for LPW Architecture. And it's a really great element of the space that you walk in, and it's a smaller storefront. You walk through the triple doors that are open. You see a bar, and you can see an opening, and you go, "What's going on back there?" And then you walk in, and the room just explodes.
Yeah.
The ceilings expand, and it was really a feel that Tim, our business partner and architect, put together and just hit a home run with, bringing that atmosphere of, what we kind of had talked about was, when you go to the Voyagers games and you come up the stairs and you're just boom, a field's right in your face. Or an old school experience when you would walk into some of these old school theaters around the country and you kind of walk through and boom, there it is.
Yeah.
And too many places now are just like you open the door and here it is. So how did we create that experience?
Have a reveal.
So putting in a drop ceiling, bringing back the historic brick, and then putting a big entrance bar as you come in was all just tremendous work by the design team to put that together and make a unique experience that you don't normally get in flat floor theaters.
Yeah.
And it allows us to do some really cool and exciting things back there too.
Where did the name come from?
So we just straight lifted it from the Newberry, the original Newberry Five and Dime.
Okay,
So the longest tenant in that building before us, hopefully we break that record, was the old Newberry Five and Dime store.
Okay.
So when we were, again, bringing it back to the history was really important. And what's fun about music venues is you don't have to have music in your name because that would be pretty corny. So we spent a couple days in the history museum learning the history of the building. Look at old photos. What had it been? What was the iterations of it over the time from the time it was built to its current existence? And when we saw the Newberry and we saw the design of the building and the old photos of people on top of the Newberry Five and Dime watching the downtown parade, we just thought, wow, that is just tremendous. There's the great old ghost painting up there. So if you're ever downtown, look up on the side of the wall next to us and you see an old ghost painting for the Newberry Five and Dime store. And we just thought, this is perfect.
Yeah.
It works great. It's fun to say, which is really what we were going for.
That's the most important thing.
And we thought, this looks great on a sign.
Yeah.
And so we went with it, and really as a throwback to those yesteryears in Great Falls that, as things are new, we can still honor what came before us.
That's great. I love that.
So what else do we need to talk about?
You got anything?
Opening day for the Voyagers is in May. We've got lots of great events in January, February, March. So always visit the newberrymt.com to see what's going on. Just make that part of your daily and weekly routine.
Yeah. Or sign up for the email newsletter.
Yeah, get our email blast.
Because when they announce, then you get an email.
Yeah, or you can join. We are the only private music club in the state of Montana or in the entire Northwest. So if you are a diehard music fan and you really love going to shows, you should check out our Newberry Sound Association. So this is an idea that we had worked on way before we even started construction. And every music venue we talked to said, clubs don't work, nobody cares, nobody will sign up. And we have over 200 current members of our sound association.
Wow.
And it is a tremendous program. Our staff does a phenomenal job with it. You get all sorts of great things. First and foremost, you get 10% off all your concert tickets. You also get an opportunity to buy any show you want a day or two before everyone else.
Nice.
You are a member of our private social media, so you get private information. We have quarterly meetings that are free to attend. They include free food and free drinks and always have some sort of entertainment aspect to them. You get a free shirt at the end of the year with all of our concerts. They barely fit on a shirt this year. But so you get a custom shirt. You get all sorts of other cool prizes and giveaways. And then you, most importantly of all, you get to attend a private members-only concert every fall. We had a gentleman, Noah Hicks, who's an up-and-coming country artist this year. And only Sound Association members could attend. So if you want to see, an up-and-coming country star, we actually let the Sound Association members vote on this too. So we started with a vote on genre. Did you want to see country, rock, hip hop? We put that out to vote to all of our members. They got to vote on it. Then we put a list of names. And Noah Hicks was actually the I'm not sure the agency would like this, but he was the second vote getter. The first one wasn't available, and Noah Hicks came in and performed the show and put on a tremendous event for everybody. And so you get to attend a concert that you get to choose. And then the other really cool thing is you get to submit us bands you would like to see. And as the person booking them, I can tell you, I reach out to every single one. Obviously, when the person puts down Metallica, we're probably not emailing them. But everyone else that is in our range, we reach out to and have booked a handful of shows that would have never been happened at the Newberry if it wasn't for a Sound Association member or members suggesting them.
That's
so
cool.
Another cool, unique thing that you get to do when you join our Sound Association.
a really nice gift for anyone.
Ooh, yeah, there you go.
Again, this is in January. This podcast
Yeah,
is coming
I
out.
But there's
so,
always gift ideas. You always need gift
Whether
ideas.
it be Christmas,
but it's a great time to sign up. You get
or-
the full year. You get a full 12 months from whenever you sign up, so you
Okay.
can do it online.
So it doesn't have to be in January. It's 12 months from when
Correct,
you sign up.
yeah.
Okay, there you go. Nice.
Yes. I'm obviously not keeping track of that,
Yeah.
but someone's doing a great
Someone
job.
is, yeah.
Someone has a spreadsheet somewhere.
Hopefully.
It is great.
But a huge thank you. That is a program that we are very proud of. We're very excited about all the people that have re-signed up to come back, the new members that have joined recently. You know, is one of these things that we got told doesn't work, and we were like, I bet in Great Falls it does.
yeah.
And it's just another feather in our cap as a community that a group of people that are passionate about what the growth is in our town and are willing to support and be diehard evangelical fans of live music in Great Falls. And as we continue to add that, we're very excited. So another huge thing on the horizon, and nothing is confirmed yet, but keep an eye out for more large stadium shows this year. So you will get to see some bigger name concerts
Metallica.
Taylor Swift. Just kidding.
together,
Yes.
duetting,
Ooh, that would
One
be epic.
show.
one show only.
Only.
You can
Great
Venmo
Falls.
your money now.
Yeah.
I'll hold the ticket for you. But if you are signed up for our web blast, Sound Association members will get to purchase those tickets first also. So another great reason to know what's going on.
Good stuff
Scott,
there.
have you been said? Do people say enough to you? Thank you for all you do for the community.
Oh, it's just fine. I
Seriously.
get free hot dogs. So that does it
That's
for
his
me,
reward, yes.
You know, there are a few establishments in town. I wouldn't mind walking out the back door and seeing you with a cart of hot dogs selling them.
Oh, yeah.
really. Oh, you know what? That idea has not
Little side
been
hustle
given up
for you.
on
Yeah.
ever. Someone asked, do you ever get sick of just eating ballpark food? But I will tell you, in the last 7 days, I have made both cheeseburgers and hot dogs at my house. So the answer is no. Of
Gotta
course
get that
not.
in the winter, too.
Yeah, it's good for you. Hot dog a day keeps the doctor away. I tell people that all the time. And another side story, we once saved a man's life with a hot dog at the ballpark. So hot dog actually can save your life. So
Yeah.
just as
Are you
a
gonna
PSA.
are you gonna tell us how?
I say,
I will just leave that as a mystery. But the paramedic, I went to the great paramedics here in Great Falls. This man, had turned the corner and was doing well. And I said, "Did you just save that man's life with a hot dog?" And he said, "Yes, hot dogs often come in handy for us as paramedics." And I thought he was joking, and he was serious. And I was like, everything I've
Wow.
lived for my entire life is now validated.
Oh.
I wanted to go up to that mom that
life's
yelled at
work.
me years ago for telling a kid a hot dog a day keeps the doctor away and be like, see
Wow.
see what we know. That would have been great content on social media also.
Gosh.
Next time, just pull out your phone and start filming.
I don't really know how to do that on a phone, but we have lots of people more tech savvy
Yeah,
than me,
there
and
you
I
go.
will let them know.
Okay. Well, it has been a blast.
Yeah, thanks, Scott.
We're going to wrap this up nice and quick to get you back out into the warm weather so
Let's
you
do it.
can create something else in 2023.
His hot dog stand.
Yeah, I have a dream for that as well. You could put other food in there, but it's been a blast. First time on the podcast. We'd love to have
Yeah.
you back sometime whenever you want to tell more stories. And folks listening, until we see your bright, smiling, happy, healthy, wonderful faces in our fine, fine city, we hope you are creating amazing memories with your friends and family wherever you are. We'll see you soon.
We're No Dam Experts is the recorded claims from Great Falls, Montana, covering what you need to know about this amazing damn town. Damn, that felt good.